Hey folks, and welcome back to Straight Talk Whiskey for another episode of Whiskey Reviews brought to you by me, Nick, here with you as always. Thanks for joining us for episode number 69. So, we're back again with another Irish whiskey to review for you. And today we've got the Writer's Tears Copper Pot Irish Whiskey. Not to be confused with a single pot still Irish whiskey, but rather this is a vatting of single malt whiskey and single pot still Irish whiskey. So, this comes from the Walsh Whiskey Distillery, which was recently founded, not too long ago, I believe in 2000 and actually earlier this year, Easter Sunday, they commemorated their first basically malt run off the stills for the first time, so got to count up at least 3 years and we'll be seeing whiskey of their own coming out of that distillery. But for now it's pretty safe to assume that the pot still content of the whiskey is coming from Jameson, and so they've certainly gotten some contracts to source their whiskey from. But nonetheless, here we are. 40% ABV. Writer's Tears has recently come out with another expression, which is, I believe, not available in the States at this current point in time, the Redhead expression. But we'll focus on this because this is what we've got. And it's sort of unique. Not every store has this. You have to search around a little bit for it. But it is a very well-acclaimed Irish whiskey, and it gives you something unique that you don't get with your standard Jameson, Tullamore, Paddy's, Bushmill, entry-level blends. So, look at the color. Pretty nice color going on here. It's hard to tell if there's any caramel added in this. I don't think so. Maybe could be a touch or so, but I'm not sure. Again, not a ton of information on the bottle of what's exactly in it in terms of age statement or non-chill filtered or caramel, any of that we don't get. But, so we're just basically going on a hunch there and looking at color. So let's go in for the nose. Right off the bat you get this really nice, fruity, fragrant bakery notes from the malt content that's in here. Now I believe it's 60% malt and 40% pot still in here. And what's coming through is definitely the malt content of the whiskey. Definitely some orchard fruits, really strong, crisp green apple. It's like if you were to go apple picking on a really crisp autumn morning with the frost still lingering over from the previous night, and you bite into a really fresh, ripe apple, you get a nice, crisp, clean, almost sour note coming off of that. Little subtlety in terms of a hint of vanilla in there, nothing much. A little bit of dried nuts in there. And a little peppery spice going on in there. So let's go in for the taste. You get those beautiful green apple that I was talking about. Really ripe apple. Very tart. Almost like a Granny Smith apple. Really good apple to put in an apple pie or something like that. Just this really tart, sugary sweetness to it. A little bit of tartness that's coming off of it. Almost like a sugared candy or something like that. Sweet tarts almost. That nice maltiness that's coming in there gives it an essence almost like a sherbet or something like that. Even if you were, back in the day we used to have Yeah, back in the day, like that was so long ago. Over on the holidays, my parents always used to have a big punch bowl, and at the top they would scoop in some rainbow sherbet on top, and I'm getting a lot of that texture, certainly that creaminess that's got this very sweet flavor to it, and it's a mix, you know, because with the rainbow sherbet, you get the red raspberry, you get the orange, you get the lime. All of those three things are paired really well in here. With the single pot still, not single pot still, the pot still character of this whiskey, it's giving it a really nice, nutty, creamy texture to it. And it's owing a lot to helping to elevate the malt content of this whiskey. But as far as, you know, blended Irish whiskeys go, this really, for me, takes the cake because, I mean, first of all, we don't have any grain whiskey in there, so it's allowing any real freshness or crisp, ripe flavors that we get are attributed largely to probably the age of this whiskey. Probably relatively young, not any more than 10, 12 years old, I can imagine. But so you get that really nice, spry but flavorful character, and not the grain, which definitely does have its benefits in other whiskeys, like Jameson and the like. But I'm really happy that they have a pot still and malt blend here. Or I guess vatting, I should say, for the technical term. But just really, I know I've kind of joked about this the past few weeks, but about the smoothness, and I think it's even on this bottle about triple distilled for extra smoothness. I don't think that's why they're doing triple distillation in Ireland, to tell you the truth. But anyway, that's on there. So still that lovely sherbety, malty note to it. In terms of the finish, definitely getting what I hinted at with the texture and the mouthfeel of a single pot still Irish whiskey, even though it's just a pot still vatted with some single malt. So, on the whole, you always got to be careful with these scores because people take them very seriously. For episode number 69, Writer's Tears, Copper Pot, Irish Whiskey, 92 out of 100. So, thanks for joining me this week. If you're going to drink responsibly as always. Next week we'll be back. We're going to do a Scotch whiskey for you, a blended Scotch whiskey. It's got a lot of history to it and has been in the news quite recently. So look ahead for that expression. We haven't done one of these before. So until then, have a good week.